right, tonight's ball game, and first of all, we should say, outside of the pitchers, there is no change in either lineup. So if you're going to keep score rather than throw the lineup at you, we'll go very slowly. Al Nipper on the mound. He was 10 and 12 during the regular year, and he'll be pitching to Len Dykstra, then Wally Backman and Keith Hernandez, and we're about ready to go. 1 ball and no strikes. Nipper brings a full bag of tricks. A fastball. He has a curveball, a slider, a knuckleball, and a screwball. And he needs great control. There's a hopper to the left of the shortstop, Spike Owen, who makes a good play to take a hit away from Dykstra.
It was a good piece of hitting by Dykstra. It was a good play by Owen. He shortened up as if to bunt, thinking he might get the breaking ball like he did on the first pitch. Got a fastball inside. He inside-outed it, and Spike Owen, almost handcuffed, really made a fine play. I think there were messages sent very early in this game. First pitch, a curveball. Nipper trying to tell him, hey, I can throw my breaking ball whenever I want to. And Owen making that play stopped one of the big attacks when Dykstra gets on and Backman follows.
Dykstra last night had 4 hits. Here's Wally Backman. He had 1 hit last night. 0-1. Last night, the top of the Mets lineup had more than half the hits. In the first 2 games, the top of the lineup was very quiet. On deck, Keith Hernandez. And the bunt fouled away.
It was off his foot, too. He tried to bunt, and he's limping around. Fastball. Much like the Mets came out last night, Vin, really out of the chute. Red Sox with Nipper really have to put him down 1, 2, 3. There you see it.
The big concern for John McNamara is the fact, A, that Nipper hasn't worked in 17 days. B, he must stay ahead of the hitters. Well, he is certainly ahead of Backman now. No balls and 2 strikes. 1 out, first inning, no score. We're just starting. So pull up a chair. And that's hit down the left field line, foul, and back into the crowd, out of play. Still 0-2. A little background on Al Nipper. He suffered a deep muscle cut near his right kneecap the middle of May against Texas during a home plate collision with Larry Parrish. Placed on the 21-day disabled list on the 19th of May and reactivated on June 25th. He perhaps pitched one of the clutch games of the year when he beat the Yankees in June 5-4. 0-2. 4-1. For Nipper, working on Backman with Hernandez on deck. 1 out, first inning, no score. The plate umpire is Joe Brinkman of the American League. Fouled away. For Nipper, he had 1 complete game at Fenway Park this year. It was way back in April against Kansas City, and he lost 1-0. And it's ironical that a fellow who worshiped Tom Seaver when he was a little kid in St. Louis, Al Nipper, has grown up to replace Tom Seaver, pitching in the Game 4 of the World Series. 2-2.
That was that good sinker that he has. The one thing that he does well when he's on is to throw that breaking ball when he's behind hitters. Much made about the number of days he's been since he pitched, but Bill Fisher said he's worked in the bullpen, he's pitched batting practice. He isn't that well rested.
Fouled away the other way. That'll roll into the Sox dugout, and the count stays 2-2. Another thing, if the Mets try to bunt, and Davy Johnson might very much have that into his plan of attack, Nipper is an excellent fielder, and the scouts report he is very quick on his feet. So if you bunt, you have an extra glove out there in the defense. A roller to Buckner, and he'll do it himself.
It took a little bit of a bad hop, but it wasn't hit that hard. And so watch it kind of shoot to the right. There you see it right there. And the grass was cut once again today When I asked the groundskeeper, Joe Mooney, he said, hey, you put tarp on the grass, it'll grow a quarter of an inch. But that grass has been cut. It is low, and that ball did take a little bad hop.
So we have 2 down here in the first inning. Base is empty, and Keith Hernandez, the batter, with Gary Carter on deck. And he starts him low, ball 1, 1-0. That's basically the key to Nipper anyway. He must stay down since he does not have that kind of velocity on his fastball.
This is a big out for Nipper if he can get it.
Missed inside with the slider, ball 2.
If he can get him 1, 2, 3, it'll be the equivalent of what the Mets did in their first inning last night.
2 down, bases empty, 2 balls and no strikes to Keith Hernandez. In there.
Slider.
Nipper, in the words of McNamara, is a great competitor, but because of that, the only thing they're worrying about is that he would rush himself trying to charge the hitter. So far, he seems to be very much in control of himself. 2-1 to Keith Hernandez. Rice playing Hernandez to pull. He's way off the line. 2-2. See where Rice is. He's almost past the scoreboard. So he is giving Keith Hernandez just about all of straightaway left field. Three and 2. On deck, Gary Carter.
This will give you an indication as we look at Carter what Nipper is thinking as far as the control of the pitches that he has. 3 and 2. See what he goes to.
And he went with the fastball and missed with it. So Hernandez becomes the first base runner, and the batter will be Gary Carter. John McNamara with a calculated gamble, as we explained. He now has his best 3 pitchers lined up in case. First against Gooden for game 5. Clemens against Ojeda if there is a game 6. And then if there's a 7, it would be Ron Darling coming back against Oil Can Boyd. Ball 1. Hernandez at first, 2 out in the first inning, no score.
Nipper does have a tendency, as you talked to Bill Fisher, the pitching coach, to nibble. Instead of getting ahead of those hitters, he'll try to shoot for the corner, miss, and be behind.
And he got a fastball at the knees for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike.
That pitch right there, there's no way you can pull that pitch. You have to make a mistake to be able to pull it, and that pitch was right on the corner.
1-1 to Gary. On the hands, a little pop fly back at first, behind Buckner, and it's going to drop foul untouched. And now let's see what a second swing will be given to Gary Carter. He should have been retired, but Buckner, of course, playing on that bad leg.
He breaks right to the foul line right now. He thinks that ball is foul. Now, he doesn't find it. He's not even looking. Now he's trying to find it, and he knows he's in deep trouble right here.
And you can see his left foot slipped, and he went falling from his numbers. The ball hit him just about on the wrist. So Gary Carter has been given a good break. Watch the left foot. There it goes.
He was in trouble before that slip.
No error on the play. So Buckner involved in a twisting foul, can't get it, and Carter given life with the count 1-2. Slider away, 2-2.
All good ball clubs, I don't care what the sport is, they have an eraser, and this is the spot.